Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another Uncomplication. Gosh, so much going on. I'm so grateful for just the energy that I feel from the people that are commenting on videos. I posted kind of a behind the scenes look at my thought process. I recorded that on Monday, so a week ago, and then I posted it over the weekend, and I was really proud of myself. I didn't look at any comments all weekend. I was just really present. And then I checked in this morning, and yeah, there's a lot of subscribers leaving, but there's also a lot of people that I think understand where I'm coming from. And I just wanted to share a few thoughts for what it's worth. So, I've been having a lot of great conversations with people that I consider mentors, and I've learned a lot about myself and my motivations and my delusions and my uh, this long legacy of mine, and also just my self-absorbedness and my selfishness, and um, yeah, all of this swirling together. So there's a few little things that were really meaningful to me that I wanted to share with you, because yeah, talking about it, I enjoy doing. And so one of the things that I really wanted to talk about a little bit is the idea of overgeneralizing. And this is something that I have done a lot. And it's something that I hear others do. I was in a yoga class this morning, and the instructor there was, in a way that I don't particularly like in yoga instructors, making these comments to the class. And she was saying, like, and this is stuff that I've heard myself say too, but the world is so scary right now, and people are so sad right now, and things are so this and that, and our culture is this, and people are blank. The world needs this. And I've been super guilty of this type of thinking and this type of speech where I take my experience and generalize it to include all of humanity at times. And it's a really easy thing to do, especially if I'm in a place where a lot of the people around me seem to be in a similar state of mind, or I'm bumping against the same patterns over and over. But one of the things that has been really helpful for me is to recognize when and how I am projecting my experience, and to make comments like the world needs better stories. I said that at one point. I was really upset that I personally was at a place where I no longer had these big guiding ideas anymore. And the things that I had put a lot of time and effort into seemed to have crumbled. And looking around, I didn't see anything else that really piqued my interest. Crypto was one of them. And then that kind of crumbled. So I came on YouTube and said, the world needs better stories. And really what I meant to say is that I need to find a new story or a better story to put my energy into. And so as I've just worked through some of these things, I feel like I've started to do that. And a lot of it was humbling myself uh, and doing work for the sake of work, and doing work that maybe in the beginning I thought might be below me. That's a hard thing to even say, but being a C-level executive at a company you started for a long time, and then going to be a substitute teacher where you've got 10-year-olds and 11-year-olds. I guess they're a little bit older, they're like preteens for some of these middle schoolers. Middle school and high school, but to be in front of a classroom of preteens that they don't know who I am, they don't respect me. I'm just the sub, and I'm having to like manage a classroom. And that's a really humbling experience, but it's been really good for me. And the connections that I've made while being a substitute and now being an art teacher, um, yeah, it's engaged me in my life in a way that's even more satisfying in a lot of ways than looking for that next job that has the same pay and the same title. And that's a lot of what I was doing a year ago. Was, all right, I need to take another step up that up that corporate ladder, or my next gig needs to be bigger and better and badder. And actually getting down to grassroots and the people around me. So yeah, this generalization, I'm just more aware of how and when I'm phrasing these broad, sweeping statements, or um, yeah, and I think that it's helped me just really understand that the perspective I'm sharing is my own, and it's a lot better when it's truly my own, and I can just speak about my experience rather than generalizing the world and then trying to go out and solve the world's problem, because that's a much harder thing to do, and it might not even need to be done. I can focus on the things that I'm lacking or needing, and that's a much clearer place to start. The other thing that I wanted to just touch on a little bit is about emotion. And I had this wonderful conversation with my friend Leah over the last couple weeks while I was kind of behind the scenes processing a lot of the same stuff with the crypto channel and Uncomplication, and just, what am I doing in the world? And she made the comment to me, I think you take your emotions too seriously. And what she meant was, she noticed that when I was having a really good day, I was just, everything was good. And then when I was having maybe a little bit more of a struggle, then I would just like really project, and I would, look to solve these big problems in big ways. And I would love to have her on the show and kind of share some of this in her own words. But the thing that I really took away from that conversation was this idea that, first of all, just an understanding that I'm kind of new to my emotions. And that's a weird thing to say, but in my experience growing up as a young man, I feel like I don't know if I had to, but I did always project this strength and competence, and we again, generalizing, but as a young male, I feel like I was kind of toughened up, and I'm a smaller guy. I'm like 5'8", 135 pounds, soaking wet. And so as kind of a smaller dude, I had to be tough, and I would fight or wrestle friends twice my size, and I just, I'm relentless and scrappy, and that was just part of my way of dealing with the world. And I see how in my last 10 years, there's so much stress and worry and emotion and things that I not only had in myself, but also was absorbing from other people. As a leader, you tend to get the gripes of other people. And so I was just holding so much shit for people, and I just had to be strong, and I just always projected that I was fine. And really, I mean, even with my partner, she never knew that I was hurting because I never showed it. And so it's interesting to then have someone tell you you take your emotions too seriously, because I feel like they're brand new. Like, this is a new superpower I have, and it came from this really messy period of just being beaten down to almost nothing, and then building myself back up from that. And I talked about the Reiki sessions that I had that were really transformational for me, learning how to actually access this energy and move it in a healthy way. So actually being able to replumb that system, because I know that I had so much that was just going into these weird areas of stress, and I was just holding it for people. And then by doing this Reiki, I was able to clear that out and actually make space. And so I think with that new kind of superpower, I've also been kind of without training wheels. I feel like I'm up surfing this big wave that's always been under the surface, and then I'm actually having some really wonderful feedback from friends like Leah and my partner as well, who I think are a lot more skilled at surfing those waves. And so it was interesting, and I just wanted to go into that a little bit deeper, because I think that what I'm learning is that it is really powerful to have access to my emotions and to be able to feel. Uh, to Leah's point, if I always act on them right away, or think, oh, because I'm having a bad day, something needs to change, or oh, I'm having a great day, so this is what I need to be doing all the time, that kind of all or nothing approach is problematic for me. And so instead, understanding that these feelings are, it's about bringing them up and then letting them go, and like having a full cycle with them. And one of the ways that that has really manifested for me in my life is also with art and creativity. So in the past, I was very meticulous and controlled around my art. And I have my sketchbooks here, so there's just, I can grab any one of these, and this is really the style of art that I have created for a long time. It's just like these very meticulous, black and white. This is just a sketchbook, but leading up to some of these bigger drawings and things that I've done, but just very controlled, and it's kind of that perfectionism that, again, like if you're always projecting that you're strong and competent, you also can't have any cracks in that armor. Everything is like really meticulous, and as an artist, I've been learning a lot lately about how just like emotions, like allowing them to come and then letting them go is a really powerful practice. And so what I've been doing with my art lately is, rather than doing these very meticulous things over months and months and months that sometimes never get finished, and when they're done, they never satisfy me. Instead, I've just been going to public places like a coffee shop, or just at home. But I've just been doing like watercolor and ink, just really quick and messy, and just making strokes, and then I give it to someone. And I found that in giving that away, one, it kind of completes the cycle. It clears the space. It's like this energy that flows and then is gone, and I don't have to hold on to it. And the other thing that it's done for me is that when you give your energy as a gift, the recipients are so grateful, and what they see is just beauty. I did this painting the other day at a coffee shop. There was some slightly older women that were sitting at a table next to me, and at the end, I gave the painting to one of them. And personally, like, there was a lot about the painting that frustrated me. There was a lot that I wasn't like super happy with, but the reaction that the recipient had, it was just perfect. It was this thing that was unexpected, and now it was a gift that was given, and she just saw it as this beautiful thing. And so it was perfect for her, so it's perfect. It doesn't matter if it was perfect for me or not. And I'm seeing emotions in kind of the same way, that it's energetic. And if I'm really sad, rather than pushing that away, but actually going into it and seeing what's there. But that doesn't mean that I have to make a bunch of decisions or actions, or just again, project that sadness on everything. And really, it's just about, can I stand in this sadness? Can I see what's in it for me, and then allow it to change and let go of it, without thinking that there's something wrong with the world or with even myself, and just kind of having that patience. And so the last thing I want to talk about, they're all related here, but that perfectionism. I really have come to see how my outward projection has been one of strength and toughness and competence and artistry and mastery, where behind the scenes, I mean, you can tell from this YouTube channel, like, I have been kind of a mess lately. And so to not have to maintain that image has been really satisfying. It's been really, I feel like I've softened in a lot of the right ways, that just allows me to not just get so hung up on this and this story and this projection. And so with the perfectionism, I think perfectionism is this fear that, for me at least, people are going to find me out, and they're going to see that I'm not as great as they think. Or my skills as an artist are not as good as I've let you believe, because I only show you the best stuff that I've slaved over. And so a lot of artists, and I see this in my art class that I'm teaching right now, these beautiful, talented artists that are the best artists are the ones that are the most reluctant to show their work. And why is that? And can I get myself to just be okay with the mess of the process, and showing that, and just being honest about where my skills really are? And even with creating content or videos, it's been a real relief to not strive for perfection, but instead, again, in this process, what's the intent? Breathe it in like a breath, do that creation, and then exhale, let it go. And so even this video, it's not perfect. I don't think I've said everything exactly the way that I wanted to say it, but this is my exhale for the day. and it's in line with what I hope to do here. I've understood that um, this thing that I'm doing right now, it's not that I think you need it. It's not that the world needs me yammering. It's that this helps me tremendously just to process what's on my mind. I've done this for a long time, just recording these rabbit holes, and it's just almost like a self conversation. And so I feel good when I do these and letting them go to the world, even if they get beaten up, even if they get, people leave or whatever. That's just my complete breath, and it's messy and it's imperfect, but it's me, and that has been really fun to get to know myself without all these walls, without all these projections, but actually get to know myself has been one of the most remarkable things that has happened for me in the last year. So I'll leave it at that. Yeah, I am going to talk about crypto if and when it's relevant. The rest of the time, I'm just going to be kind of sharing this messy outflow as I continue on my own journey. I hope there's a lot of art and connection and conversation, and I'll just continue to share it here because it's something I enjoy. Selfishly, beautifully, wonderfully. So until next time, cheers.